I'm gonna close my eyes and pretend you're clapping for me. Please have a seat. I think they like you. That's what I think. You see this senator right here? If in fact you were not picked to be the next Secretary of Labor, I would be run out of town. Born in Wisconsin, she's the daughter of Chinese immigrants. Mom, a union worker. Her mom was a union worker, and her dad was a small business owner. She went to law school, served the people of California. Julie is the American dream. She is what the American dream is about.
When the president talks about those who've been forgotten or invisible, I know what he means because I have spent my career fighting for them to be seen. So to all workers who are toiling in the shadows, to workers who are organizing for power and respect in the workplace, know that we see you, we stand with you, and we will fight for you.
Declassified findings released on Wednesday of an extensive U.S. intelligence community investigation that spanned the entire globe concluded it was, quote, very unlikely that a foreign adversary was responsible for Havana syndrome, the mysterious ailment that has afflicted U.S. diplomats and intelligence officers worldwide. Havana syndrome symptoms, which were first reported among U.S. officials in the Cuban capital in 2016, have included migraines, nausea, memory lapses, and dizziness.
The book is never fully closed.
At a State Department briefing on Wednesday, spokesman Ned Price said the intelligence assessment did not put those symptoms in doubt.
The findings that the intelligence community has spoken to today in no way call into question the experiences, the symptoms that our colleagues and their family members have reported in recent years.
About 1,500 cases have been reported by U.S. government agencies and departments, including some from this year, but Price said that cases were on the decline.
What I can tell you is that the number of reported cases of anomalous health incidents have declined fairly precipitously since 2021. There was a decline between 2021 and 2022. And so far this year, there has been a decline between those cases that were reported as of this date last year and as of this date this year.
7 of the 18 U.S. intelligence agencies conducted the more than 2-year investigation in more than 90 countries, including the United States, and found, quote, no credible evidence that any American adversary possessed a weapon or collection device, including an emitter of electromagnetic energy pulses that could cause the symptoms. A U.S. intelligence official said the agencies even considered the possibility that extraterrestrials were responsible, but later ruled that out.
A Republican bill to block pension fund managers from basing investment decisions on factors like climate change cleared Congress on Wednesday, setting up a confrontation with President Joe Biden, who is expected to veto the measure.
Joint resolution is passed.
The U.S. Senate voted 50-46 to adopt a resolution to overturn a Labor Department rule making it easier for fund managers to consider environmental, social, and corporate governance or ESG issues for investments and shareholder rights decisions. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer accused Republicans of interfering with private investing by preventing fund managers from making their own decisions.
The Republican proposal, meanwhile, wants to undo that rule, and across the country, Republican state legislators are trying to punish managers who dare consider, on their own volition, ESG. Because the rule that the DOL has put in effect is completely optional.
The political battle marks the latest clash in a Republican war against what they decry as woke business practices that is likely to intensify as the 2024 presidential campaign gets underway.
We've really been fighting this woke agenda.
2 Democratic senators, Joe Manchin and John Tester, voted with Republicans. Both face re-election in Republican-leaning states in 2024. Republicans claim the rule, which covers plans that collectively invest $12 trillion on behalf of 150 million Americans, would politicize investing by allowing plan managers to pursue liberal causes, which they say would hurt performance. Representative Virginia Fox.
Due to Biden's reckless economic policies, too many Americans are worried about rising costs of living. Diverting retirement savings to fund social justice causes will make this problem even worse.
The Republican-controlled House of Representatives passed the bill on Tuesday. The White House has said Biden will veto the measure.
And after an exhaustive investigation, there is only one person who had the motive, who had the means, who had the opportunity to commit these crimes.
In his closing argument on Wednesday, lead state prosecutor Crichton Waters said the evidence given during a month of testimony in Alex Murdaugh's murder trial, including Murdaugh's admission that he was at the crime scene on the night of.
The defendant was the one person who was living a lie.
And lied about it afterward, all pointed in one direction.
Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh were brutally and maliciously murdered at the kennels by Alec Murdaugh.
54-year-old Murdaugh, the once influential but now disbarred South Carolina lawyer, has been charged with fatally shooting his wife Maggie and youngest son Paul at dog kennels on their estate known as Moselle, which the jury visited earlier on Wednesday. Prosecutors have argued that Murdaugh murdered his wife and son to generate sympathy and distract from a litany of financial crimes, including the theft of millions of dollars from his law partners and clients.
He stole by billing personal expenses to the firm. He stole by stealing from his own family.
Money, prosecutors say, which was used to feed a costly addiction to opioids and support an expensive lifestyle. Murdaugh admitted to some of his financial crimes during testimony last week, but insisted under oath that he did not kill his wife and son.
And so that pressure is happening as well.
Prosecutors said he was also under pressure at the time of the murders, facing a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit stemming from a 2019 boating accident in which his son Paul was involved. That boat wreck, Murdaugh suggested while on the stand last week, could be the reason his wife and son were killed. But on Wednesday, the prosecutor tried to quash that theory.
There's been no evidence whatsoever of any specific other individual. There has to be evidence to consider. Whoever did this thought about it for a really long time.
Murdaugh testified that he had lied about his whereabouts on the night of the killings, changing his account after the jury was shown video evidence, placing him at the scene minutes before investigators say the murders occurred.
Why in the world would an innocent, reasonable father and husband lie about that?
Murdaugh also said he initially lied to investigators about his alibi because of paranoia tied to his drug habit and because he did not trust the police. But prosecutors said he lied to cover up his crimes.
People lie because they knew they did something wrong.
Defense attorneys will present their closing arguments on Thursday. Murdaugh faces 30 years to life in prison if found guilty.
TikTok is developing a tool to let parents control what their kids see on the short video app. The company announced the move Wednesday. It says the tool will allow parents to prevent their teens from seeing content containing certain words or hashtags. TikTok also announced new features that will help users limit how much time they spend on it. Accounts belonging to people under the age of 18 will be automatically limited to 1 hour per day. Parents will also be allowed to set custom limits for their kids depending on the day of the week. Development of the parental tool is in the early stages, and TikTok says it will consult with youth and civil society organizations in creating it. The move comes as Chinese owner ByteDance tries to shore up its image amid mounting scrutiny worldwide. Recent days have seen TikTok banned from government-owned phones in the US, Canada, and elsewhere. That's over concerns the app could be used for spying. On Wednesday, a US House of Representatives panel voted to give President Joe Biden the power to ban the app altogether. China has strongly criticized the crackdown, saying Washington is abusing its power to suppress foreign companies.